young girl follows a rabbit and walks into an unknown transition which takes us to 4 different realms and movies, and I'm sure you are interested. Stay with me and enjoy. The young girl kneels in front of a shrine. A rabbit walks behind her into the shrine, and the girl asks if she can follow the rabbit. The rabbit permits her to come, and she finds herself in front of a door. She asks the rabbit if she can enter, and the rabbit permits her to enter. She enters the shrine and finds a magical door. She stands in front of the door, then the rabbit drags her inside. Upon entering the shrine, she is introduced to an entirely different atmosphere. Each time, she will have a transition that will take her to another realm still in that shrine. Following the girl's story, the movie transitions into 4 subdivisions, the number 1 of which is The Possession. There is a young traveler who is caught by the rain and storm. As the storm threatens, he finds a hut that he didn't know is a shrine. He enters hoping to find refuge, and tells the invisible being in the shrine that he needs refuge till the following day. He sits in the shrine as the storm starts. He suddenly finds himself in another realm. He sees himself in a new room. As he wonders what he is doing there, the room changes into a room of different umbrellas. He stands there, and a god comes out from the umbrella. The god holds a broken umbrella and sings that his umbrella is terrible. The man looks at all the umbrellas and says that they are beautiful and he can repair them. He opens one of the drawers in the room and finds the equipment he needs to repair the umbrella. He repairs all the umbrellas in the room, and the god, is holding them. He gives the god back the umbrella, and the god enters the wall. The man sees a door beside the wall the god entered, and he passes through the door. He reaches another realm. In this realm, there is a female god on the wall who complains about her torn wrappers. She says that her wrappers are still beautiful, but humans have disposed of her and her wrappers. The man finds several wrappers around him. He decides to repair them. He finds a drawer which he opens and takes the needle and thread. He sews all the wrappers and goes to the god on the wall. He tells her that he is on a journey and only came to them for refuge. He pleads with her to let him leave there successfully. He sees another doorknob and forcefully opens the door. He is welcomed into another room, and he is welcomed by several dirty and worn-out items, and the items fall on him immediately. He struggles to stand up. As he does, the items arrange themselves into a god. The god emits a foul smell around him, and the man covers his nose in disgust. He speaks to the gods about wanting to go home, and the gods come at him. He kneels, gives thanks to all the gods he met at the shrine, and closes his eyes as the god overshadows him. He finally finds himself in the shrine. He slept. The storm has stopped. He comes out of the shrine and finds the umbrella he repaired, the wrapper he repaired, as well as his hat and some other items. He takes them, looks into the shrine again, and continues his journey. The movie transitions to another story, the story titled Combustible. Combustible is set during the old Edo period in Japan, in a village where a disaster has taken away more than half of the villagers. There lives a girl named Owaka. She steps out of the hut and calls out for her friend Matsuki. Matsuki comes inside the compound and they play together. They are childhood friends and they like each other. Matsuki grows up to be a rebellious young man. One night, while Owaka is in the room with her maid, they hear noises from outside and go to check it. They find out it is Matsuki. He sneaks out of the house to meet his girlfriend Taki, and his father is screaming and calling out for him. After Matsuki escapes, Owaka enters her room. The next day, Owaka overhears a conversation between her parents. They talk about marrying her off to a wealthy aristocrat. She goes back into her chamber and thinks about the union while thinking about her first love, Matsuki. Meanwhile, Matsuki has returned home. His father is tired of his acts, and he tells him that he can no longer control him. His father asks him to leave his house, and he disowns him. Matsuki walks into Owaka's compound. He tells her that his father has disowned him. Owaka on her own is concerned about how they would meet now that he will no longer live beside her compound. But he tells her he will come to visit her. 3 days to Owaka's proposed marriage. She sits in her chambers looking at all the gifts her fiancé brought for her. She looks at her kimono, frustrated. In anger, she throws a handmade fan away, and it falls on a lantern. The hand fan catches fire and her room is set ablaze. Awaka attempts to call for help and wants to leave. As she opens the door, she looks back at her kimono and closes the door back. She stays in the room as the room burns. The fire spreads all over the village, and firefighters come to help the survivors. Matsuki is part of the firefighters, and as he sees that Awaka's home has burnt completely, he decides to go there and find her. He sees her on the rooftop covering herself with her kimono. He calls out for her and tells her not to walk towards the back. The fire is coming toward her, so she has no choice but to walk towards the back. She is caught in the fire and her kimono flies afar as the scene ends. Introducing the next transition of the movie titled Gambo. A young man named Mr. Samurai is injured. He falls on the grass and a white mysterious bear named Gambo comes up to him. He presumes Gambo to be a wicked bear, so he calls out to Gambo to kill him, but Gambo looks at him and walks away. In the village, a giant red animal called Ogre is disturbing their village. The village head decides that if they sacrifice females to the Ogre every night, he will leave them to live in peace since their weapon can't kill the animal. That night, they sacrifice some females to take care of the animal. The Ogre wakes up and kills the girls and also injures the village head. Samurai meets with the surviving members of the village. The village head tells him that they have sacrificed all the females in their village to the Ogre, leaving only the daughter of the emperor named Ken. The village head begs Samurai to please kill the Ogre, and in replacement they will give him Ken. Sitting outside the hut is Ken. She says that she is sure Samurai can't kill the Ogre, so she walks out and goes to the bush. As she lays on the grass, she sees the white bear Gambo. At first, she thinks Gambo is out to injure her. She tries to run, but her body can no longer move. Gambo walks up to her and pets her. She realizes the bear's name is Gambo, and she feels the bear understands her thoughts. She plays with Gambo and Samurai watches them from afar. Gambo feels her pain and decides to fight the Ogre. He goes to the Ogre's hideout and sees a female carrying the pregnancy of about 3 offspring of the Ogre. The lady begs Gambo to kill her as she doesn't want to give birth to the evil inside her. So Gambo burns the hideout with the woman and her pregnancy. As Gambo jumps out, he encounters the Ogre, who is coming at him in anger. The Ogre attacks Gambo mercilessly. Gambo can't measure up to the Ogre's power. Ken is at a hideout praying for Gambo's life. Samurai tells her to believe in the Gambo's power, and he also goes to fight the Ogre. With just a kick, the Ogre incapacitates Samurai. Ken comes out of her hideout. The Ogre sights her and sees another hope for offspring. He walks to attack her, but Gambo summons his last power. He attacks the Ogre from behind and they fight. Some soldiers also attack the Ogre and they eventually kill the Ogre. The soldiers ask Ken how she was able to convince Gambo to help her, and she says it's probably because she believes in him. In the last short film titled Farewell to Arms, it is set during the Third World War. Some armed forces are sent to a location to fight a robotic tank. The force, headed by Captain Gimlet. Among the team are Junkie, Marl, Jim, and some others. As they arrive at the location, Junkie stays in their vessel while the others wear their protective gear to fight. As they walk around, Marl steps on a mine that explodes, and Junkie informs them that he perceives movement. Gimlet commands his force to take a position while they attack the robotic tank. On the first attack, they presume they have destroyed the tank. They continue their journey. Unfortunately, the tank attacks them again, killing the other forces and leaving behind Marl, Gimlet, and one other member. They assume that they have destroyed the tank again, and Marl's protective suit is now burnt. He removes his protective suit. The robotic tank attacks them again. He kills Gimlet and the last survivor. The robot gives his report that there is no more threat on the island as he scans Marl and sees he has no protective gear and weapon on him. The robotic tank attempts to leave Marl, but Marl starts hitting him with stones. The robot insists Marl isn't a threat, but since Marl continues hitting him, he strips Marl of his clothes. Marl doesn't stop hitting him, so he gives Marl a pamphlet and tells Marl that war and violence aren't needed. The robotic tank walks away as the movie ends. Thank you for watching the recap. Please subscribe to our channel to get notified when we post the next recap. See you next time.